video. Farmer Dre back at it. It's another rainy day here on the farm, but I want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. So today, since it's raining, we can't do too much outside, but I want to go ahead and take you guys along and show you guys how to graft apple trees. Here in the farm store, and it is May, and technically you're not supposed to be grafting this time of year, and I'm going to go ahead and explain what I'm doing here. The best time of year to graft anything is about February. If you're in a warmer climate, then about January. But you want to make sure all the trees outside are dormant and you have plenty of wood to go ahead and graft. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about the Scion Wood and the rootstock. So the Scion is the variety of apples you want to grow, and for every single tree out in the orchard, the tops of the trees are the Scion. So if you have Galas, Jonathan's, Fuji's, just anything like that, you could grab wood off that tree, and that could be your Scion wood. And then there is the rootstock, and the rootstock is what controls the vigor of the tree. I mean, there's many different rootstocks, and they have different modes of actions, whatnot. For us here on our farm, we plant a lot of the Geneva series rootstocks out of New York, just because they are resistant to fire blight, and that fire blight resistance is what helps us out, just because we live in a climate where fire blight's a big deal for us. And if your roots are resistant to fire blight, then if fire blight does come, your trees will not die. So other rootstocks varieties, there's the Budagoskis or the Bs, there's our M's, and there's some PP or something like that. But your main varieties of rootstocks are the Geneva series or the B series, and that's what's mostly planted here in the United States of America. If you're in another country, I'm not really sure what variety of rootstocks you plant. But the B variety, the Budagoski rootstocks or the Bs, they tend to be very precocious, meaning they come in production really fast. And then there's also the mauling rootstocks or the M's. We have a few of the older trees that are the M rootstocks, like M7, M11. And with every rootstock, they have numbers, and that number just indicates the variety. And for every single variety, there's so many different characteristics. Like the Geneva 41 series that we plant, or the variety, I'm guessing, is the 41 is a 25 to 30% standard apple tree. It's resistant to fire blight. Then there's a Geneva 11, Geneva 935, Geneva 245, and there's so many different varieties of rootstocks. And make sure you do your research on the rootstocks before you start grafting anything. So that is pretty much on the rootstocks. And like the Geneva 935 rootstocks, it's really good on making side branches and feathers. And you know, it just depends on what you're trying to grow. And rootstocks matter a lot more than people expect and wonder. Whenever I first started growing apples and doing my research and stuff, I was like, rootstocks it's all about the size. But it's not about the size, it's about production, even fruit size, fruit yield. So it all plays into action here. Alrighty, so that is on the rootstocks and the Scion. And the Scion wood, whenever you pick out Scion wood, make sure it's 1 year old wood. So the wood that grew that current season. So if you're getting ready to go in the dormant winter season, make sure you take off wood that grew that past year. And this is a perfect example of some Scion wood here. This wood right here was grown last year. I went ahead and cut it off in the winter, and you know, put it in a cooler, make sure you store it right. And it's just 1 year old wood. This entire piece of wood here grew last year. So 1 year old wood is what you want. And the reason you want 1 year old wood is because they got a lot of leaf buds on them. And this is what you want right here, is make sure you got plenty of leaf buds, and 1 year old wood is what you want. Today I don't have any rootstocks, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to graft on this piece of wood here. But I do have 4 trees here that one of my buddies from Michigan gave to me. I was up there doing some other stuff, and went to see and saw his farm, and he gave me the rootstock. This is Geneva 935 rootstock grafted on a Gala tree. And before we get into talking about what's going on over here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do it right here. And with anything else in life, there's no one way of doing it. There's no silver bullet, so there's many different ways you can graft your trees. The easiest that I found is This is kind of like the microwave version of grafting trees. There's many different ways to do it. There's complicated ways, and then there's simple ways. As you guys know, I'm a simple kind of man. So what I have here, this is my grafting tool, and I got this off of Amazon. I don't think it cost me too much, like $60 or $70, and then the whole kit comes here. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link for this down in the description box below if you guys are interested in this grafting tool. Alrighty, so the nice thing about this, it has a cutter. So let's say this is my roots, this is a Scion. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop this in half here. And 95% of the time you're gonna have roots and little things on like this, just like this right here. So this is the rootstock right here. Has tiny roots on it. And it's gonna look like that. This is just a 1-year-old rootstock. Baby, I mean, it's grown in the ground, but it's never been in production. So it's tiny roots. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the bag so my sisters won't yell at me for being here at the counter. But you got the roots and you got your Scion Wood, and this is Gala, and let's pretend this is Geneva 935 rootstock here. So with this nice tool here, has this little cutter there, and all you do is you come here, place it in there, make sure it's flush on this side, just like that, and then go ahead and chop it down the center like that. And it creates a nice little U there, nice little cut just like that. So you do that on the rootstock, and then on the Scion Wood, make sure you cut the opposite of that. So then you got to come from this side and just do that right there, pull it out. So then you create, it's like a coupling. I mean, you got the female and then the male adapter. I mean, I'm talking in PVC terms here, but you guys know what I'm saying. You got and then you just combine them two together here, just like that. Put them two together, and that is a graft for you. So like I said, this is like the microwave version, super fast, super easy. You could do so many trees an hour. And then make sure on your Scion Wood, make sure you leave about 4 to 5, 6 buds, just like that. So if one of these buds don't make it, you have some backup buds there. Then you combine them together. So before you tape it up, make sure, this is the most important part, and this is why grafting works, is make sure the cambium layer of the tree, so this outside skin here, see if I'm pulling this back here, you shouldn't be doing this if you're actually grafting, but that outside skin there and that first layer of wood, so that's where the xylem and phloem are, and that's what carries the nutrients down from the root to the top of the tree. So that's your highway of nutrients right there. So whenever you graft, make sure that the cambium layers on both sides touch each other and they're nice and smooth right there. Because if they're off 1/8 of an inch, if you tape it like that, 95% of the time that's never going to catch, just because they're never connecting. It might catch up here, but just to make sure you got 100% graft every time, make sure that cambium layer, that layer there of skin, or the bark there, is connecting at all parts. And if it's connecting at all parts, you're gonna have great success. So just like that, and then you go ahead and tape it up and make sure you put it in the cooler before you plant it out, just like these trees are right here. So this is the easy way, microwave version, farmer drive version of grafting trees. All right, so let's say a different situation. You wanna graft, your rootstocks are big and fat, like this one right here, like a 3/8, and you have a tiny piece of Scion Wood. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up here. So you gotta graft these two right here, and like, how am I supposed to get these two right here combined together? They don't even match, they're not even the same size. It's gonna be hard to get that cambium layer touching. So I'm gonna show you guys a different way to graft. So before I talk about another way, I just forgot the most important part here. So make sure whenever you graft, your buds are always gonna be pointing up. So this bud right here is pointing up towards the sky there. And make sure your grafting wood, or your Scion, is the buds are facing the same way, because then that cambium layer will connect. If you graft with the buds facing towards each other, it gets confused and it's never gonna catch. So right now the buds are facing down and these buds are facing up. So if I graft these together, they're never gonna work out. But if they are facing the same way, then that cambium layer will connect and you will have great success in grafting. So make sure those buds are all facing the same way. Onto the thick and small Scion Wood here. So this is the rootstock here. This is your Scion Wood. Your rootstock is big and fat. Your Scion Wood is small. Like, oh man, how can I graft these together? So what you want to do is you get a super thick knife, super sharp. This is it's a grafting knife. So you're going to go ahead and make sure the buds are facing the same way. And in the Scion, you're going to go ahead and cut a V. And just a cutting 101, always cut away from you. These knives are super sharp, so they're gonna mess you all up. So then you cut a V in that one like that. And what you do here, make sure you're really careful here. You go ahead and put the knife on top. So really careful, make sure you cut this wood in half. Make sure you don't go all the way down in the rootstock there. Just make a nice slit there and kind of twist it a little bit just to give a little wiggle room there. Just like that. And then you get your Scion or your grafting wood and go ahead and place the little cut you made there, that V, into this big fat wood, connecting that cambium layer on one side. So right here, it's never gonna connect because there's no cambium layer there, but if you connect that cambium layer there on this side, it will connect and you will have success grafting here. And make sure you don't go too deep here into the thick fat wood, and make sure your V in your Scion wood is at the right, so you could have great connection there with the cambium layer. Go ahead and tape that up, and if you want, you get some hot wax and melt that wax on the tip there, kind of like my buddy did here. This is hot wax there on the tips, and then you will have greater success and into grafting just because you connected those cambium layers. But the easiest and fastest way to do it, like I said, is with this. You could just go one after another, boom, 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 get them done. Making sure that the Scion wood and the rootstock there is the same size. Chop them up, connect them like that. Get that connection there at the cambium layer. Go ahead and get your tape them up and onto the next. So you could do a lot of trees in one day if you stick to it. But if you're just doing a couple, 2, 3 for your garden, for your house, it goes really quick and really simple. Alrighty, out here in the orchard, and like I said, it is a rainy day out here. It's not too fun to be working out here, but I'm gonna go ahead and plant these 4 trees here, and let's go ahead and get to it. And the nice thing about doing your own grafts is you can control the size and the length of your rootstock. And if you are grafting, especially for high density, even for your garden, in my opinion, the taller the rootstock, the better, just because you get full effect of that rootstock if you graft them high. So these right here are good 16 inches. So let's go ahead and dig a hole here. I already kind of tilled this out with my shovel here, and let's go ahead and put them in the ground. So I do have a few extra spots here that we didn't plant whenever we got the high density done. So I'm gonna just go ahead and measure about 3 foot from that pool there, dig a small hole just like that. Man, the soil's sticky. It's not too good to be planting in here. Then you get your tree, put the roots in all the way, kind of cover them up here on either side, just like that. Well, just like planting a regular apple tree. And if you want, you could put these in a greenhouse and let them bud out in a pot, and then you can transplant them out in the field, but that's just too much work, at least for me. So just let them do this here, just like that. Alrighty, so just like that, 4 little trees here are done. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys along, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys an update. So whenever they do start budding out, whenever they do start coming out, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys, take you guys along. And what I'm thinking about doing with these, since these are on a 935 rootstock, that is a pretty vigorous rootstock. So I think I'm gonna try to double leader these. So every 18 inches, have a leader coming up. So I'm gonna save 2 of these buds that can't come up and split them in half and then coat up like that on every single tree. And I'm just gonna try it on these 2 trees, see how it works. A lot of guys, instead of planting regular high density, they're moving to this system. This is gonna be pretty much it for today. That's grafting 101. And plant these out here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys can come along for the ride, for the journey. So this is it for today. If you guys haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button. Go in and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day, and we will see you next time.